Everyone, I'm Ken from Crypto Trading KS. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin up 2.59% to an all-time high, 65,852. Well done, Bitcoin. Ethereum 4094, up 7.38%. My goal is to assist you to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love, and also gain real wealth in the process. I've hidden knowledge gems throughout this video. Unless you watch to the end, you'll miss them. See how many you can find. Over the 30 plus years that I've been involved with financial markets, I've created literally thousands of rules to help avoid losses and book in profits. Rule 774 is a critical one. Master yourself to master the market. It literally is a mind game that you play with yourself. It's really important to feel worthy and deserving of success. You are worthy and unique. You deserve kindness, love, meaning, and every success in life. This is a very important thing to remind yourself of every day. Life throws so many challenges at us. It's good to be reminded. Every success in life is much more than money. It takes a lot of courage to be kind in a world without integrity and decency. Affection and loyalty are beautiful things. Strength and boundaries are real wealth. Inner and outer peace, fulfillment and meaning, empathy and love, generosity and selflessness, gratitude and happiness. These are all really, really important things that give life a beautiful sense of value. It's much more than money. Of course, money is critically important, but so too are the components of real wealth. And this is the hard part. To attain real wealth, you must overcome setbacks, losses, and disappointment. Setbacks, losses, and disappointment are part and parcel of the trading and investing process. KS Zone analysis are the 4 stages that every single investor and trader progresses through to become consistently profitable and attain real wealth. Zones 1 and 2, Zone 1 the panic zone and Zone 2 the blame zone. This is what I call the terror quadrant. The terror is internal or external. This is what happens when people enter anything new. Of course, trading and investing is really difficult. It is a profession, like being a doctor or a lawyer. Many people are sold the idea that you just put your money in something and you make a Lamborghini and you can retire. Well, it's not really like that. The financial markets are really difficult. You need the knowledge and the skills, just like a doctor and a lawyer needs to train. Zones 3 and 4 are the rule zones. Zone 3 is where probabilistic fearlessness comes in and replaces FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and FOMO, fear of missing out. Zone 2 is all about externally conflicting with others. Zone 3 gives away that conflict. It's just not important. It's all about knowledge and forgiveness, accountability and learning. Zone 4 is the meaning zone. This is where true meaning, gratitude and worthiness, inner and outer peace, authenticity, fulfillment, that's where they reside. In Zones 3 and Zone 4, people fearlessly act on probability. They trade the chart in front of them. They deal with the situation that is there. But there's always an understanding of what can happen. That's why there are many choices that are made ahead of time. In Zones 3 and 4, you make in advance probabilistic choices. The choice to continue if things go for or against you. This is a really interesting point. And if things go against you, do you scale out or do you scale in? That's a choice that needs to be made ahead of time. That's why we give this analogy. Zone 1 and Zone 2 behavior are like a light switch. People are either all in or all out. They want to be 100% certain, 100% correct, 100% of the time with zero loss. That is very understandable. You're putting money on the line. You don't want to lose it and you want to maximize it. The analogy is that you throw darts at a dartboard and every time you have to get the bullseye. It's just not possible. Zones 3 and Zone 4 are all about probabilities scaling in and scaling out. It's about patience, discipline, rules, and awareness, and understanding that losses are the tuition fees of the market. It's about having a strategy, knowing what you're going to do if things go against you and if things go for you. Let's get into Rule 32. Find the market's focus. This is really important. If you're invested in a crypto that is outside the market's focus, you're going to be holding and getting frustrated for a long period of time. If you are a trader, if you're an investor, you probably want to find what's out of focus so you can dollar cost average in. You can see it really depends on your focus, how you use the market's focus. Let's have a look at the Fear and Greed Index. Many people use this as a signal to buy or to sell. We can see we're getting up to extreme greed, an 82 measurement. The last time we had an 82 measurement was around this particular 22nd of Feb area. We can see the markets are very optimistic at the moment. Bitcoin is currently trading at 65,975. It's over the line of price discovery. It's basically reached an all-time new high and is seeking to go higher. As always happens, price is always moving in a wave. There will be a lot of shorting opportunities up here for the shorts. The markets are very overheated at the moment, and we can see extreme greed in the markets. It's important to have a strategy. That strategy is simply, if Bitcoin and crypto just pole vaults up, okay, what's your strategy for that? If it goes sideways, what's your strategy for that? If it retraces and goes down, what is your strategy for that? If you always have a strategy, if you're aware of the upside and the downside risks, you're going to do really well. Trading and investing is a profession just like a doctor and a lawyer. It's important to do the risk management side. Of course, the markets are inherently optimistic by nature. We're in the right phase at the right time in the right industry. The Evergrande default situation will be known in approximately 3 days, 18 hours. I just want to say thank you to M. M suggested that because the Evergrande default will happen across the weekend, we may see the markets react in possibly a couple of days or up to 4 days, depending. And we can see the markets are just absolutely ignoring the Evergrande news at the moment, and they may continue to do so as well. We always have to be aware of the potential probabilistic outcomes. So how do we check if the markets are overheated? Well, we can look at the percent supply in profit of Bitcoin. Currently, 100% of the supply of Bitcoin is in profit. Last time that occurred, we were back here near the peak. And it doesn't mean that just because it gets to 100%, it can't go higher. As we saw back here, it was up at the 100% mark and just kept on going up. We just need to be aware of these factors. If we look at futures open interest across all exchanges, we can see for yesterday it was $24.2 billion. It's now currently 26.07 billion, and we can see we're now up to the peak of the past peak. So we're just keeping an eye on things. Binance futures are in excess of what they were at the peak as well. We can see a very big lead up in open interest. This is going to move in a wave at some stage. Checking 24-hour liquidations, they were 318.73 million to 40,736 traders. About 75% of liquidations were short over the past 12 hours, and we see we're not getting any multi-billion-dollar liquidations. Considering how much leverage is in the market at the moment, this is very unusual behavior. We can also see from the Bitcoin stablecoin supply ratio SSR oscillator that money is flowing into the market through stablecoins and then flowing into Bitcoin. it's supporting that upward price momentum. Things are looking good, but we always know everything moves up and down. It's always moving in a wave. So now we have a little bit of context about what is happening in the crypto industry. We've broken out into price discovery. It looks like we're coming back to potentially retest this support line. That support line will probably action around 65,330. We've found resistance at around the 66,971 mark. The level of price discovery is around 64,819. We can see that we've got a lot of supports below the Bitcoin price, and enormous support at 52,658. Now, we're not saying that the price is going to plummet to 52,658, but if we got a lot of liquidations, we could get potentially a long tail spike down. This is why we have a 10-5-10 volatility fund. It's really important to understand that even when Bitcoin is going for it, it's on its exponential move up. It does so in stages. It just doesn't go straight up the wall. It can increase by large percentages, but decrease by 20%, 40%, 30%, even 50%. These things are on the cards. They happen all the time. Just being aware of this will keep you from FOMOing into the market and keep you grounded. Keeping grounded is really, really important in financial markets, as is participating in the chart in front of you. Ethereum is currently trading at 41.14. It's over this resistance line. Again, just be aware of the upside and the downside risk management strategies. For example, if Ethereum gets above this line and stays above this line and starts to break out, what is your strategy? If Ethereum falls below this particular line, for example, falls below $40,030 and then falls and falls, what is your strategy? It's really important to know these things up in advance. We can see that there's a lot of support for Ethereum at 36.49, 35.90 and 33.19. We also can see that we've had one very big wave up. We would be experiencing some wave down, either coming up or in the future. This is just how crypto works. But it always comes down to your strategy. The momentum is overwhelmingly positive, no question about that. Trading the chart in front of us, we can see that we now have a support line that will come into play at around, well, let's say the 40-30 mark. We also have support at 39.35. We would be expecting higher prices if this breakout continues. If it basically comes up as it has, it may come back and retest and then resume off. We just deal with the chart in front of us. We can see, unlike Bitcoin, the relative strength index of Ethereum is gaining a lot of momentum. You can see the relative strength of Bitcoin has just dipped below recently. We may be seeing a flight out of Bitcoin into the alts. That is quite possible. It's really advisable to remember price is always moving in a wave. It's always going up and then down, up and then down, up and then down. It's just normal. Let's have a look at the top 33 cryptos on Binance. DOT is charging out in front. We can see DOT has overcome its level of resistance. If we draw a line from here to this peak and just carry it forward, we can see a breakout in DOT. Well done, DOT. Matic is getting close to a breakout. If we look, for example, from this peak to this peak and carry it forward, Matic is still under resistance. It's getting close to breaking out, but DOT is a far more powerful thing to get involved with. Okay, let's have a look. So we're seeing DOT out 38.15% in the past 2 weeks, Matic 20.92, the Graph 19.57, and Bitcoin 19.42% up. Let's have a look at the top 8. What we can see in Bitcoin, Bitcoin has recovered from that previous sell-off. It's gone very well. Now, how does that compare? Let's use our pattern recognition skills. What is the comparison between Bitcoin's performance here and, for example, Ethereum's performance? We can see Ethereum is past that peak of the sell-off, but only a little bit. It doesn't really even compare to what is happening with Bitcoin, does it? Let's have a look at Binance Coin. We can see the current price is literally just a little under that peak. So what do we have? Way above the peak with Bitcoin, just a little bit above the peak for Ethereum, pretty much at the peak for Binance Coin. What about ADA? What's Cardano doing? What is Cardano doing? It's way under, isn't it? What about XRP? Is it? Well, it's way under. It's about 50% of the way up. What about Solana? Solana is getting there. It's getting closer. What about Doge? It is under about 50%. What about DOT? It's over. Now, what does all this mean? Why are we looking at this? What is this actually showing us? It's showing us strength. It's showing what the market has in its focus. This is incredibly important. For example, if you had have had all your money sitting in Cardano, you could be very frustrated watching Bitcoin and the other ones pump. This is why, as a trader, you need to understand what the market's focus is. If you don't, you have significant opportunity costs. Let's have a look at the next 8. What this line represents is just that peak on Bitcoin, and it's just carried with regularity through all of the different charts. We're comparing apples to apples, as what we must do. Let's have a look at Algorand. Wow, Algorand's done really well. Look at just blasted above, and it's been consolidating. Now, even though there was a market focus, we have to be aware of the price action as well. But we can see Algo has the market's focus. It is above. What about SHIB? Definitely a lot of focus with SHIB recently. It's just exploded out. What about Luna? It is above that previous high. That's not the all-time high. That's just the high that we experienced here in Bitcoin. Okay, let's keep going. What about Uni? It's under. What about AVAX? It's over. But you notice this consolidation, this downtrend. Digestion of a large move requires consolidation. Up the lift, down the stairs, normal stuff. What about Chainlink? It's quite under, isn't it? What about Litecoin? It's getting there. It's really going for it at the moment, but it is still under. Bitcoin Cash, significantly under. You can see the interpretation of these particular charts and the patterns they have is very much determined by your focus. If you're a long-term investor and you have a particular alt that you love, for example, if you love ADA and you look at the prospects of ADA and you say, yeah, this is really going somewhere, you might be dollar cost averaging in at the moment and expecting Bitcoin's gravity to snap ADA back. If you're looking for momentum, you would be trading Bitcoin because that has the focus. Let's have a look at the next 8. When we look at Stellar XLM, we can see it's under. What about Matic? It's under. Look at this power that's come through Matic just recently. Good on you, Matic. Let's have a look at Atom Cosmos. It is over, starting to break out. Now, how do we know that? If we look at this particular price action here and draw a line down here, we can see price is getting above that. There's a couple more lines that you would probably want to draw to confirm that Atom is actually breaking out. What you can see here is that it's just coming up to test this very tight level of resistance at the moment. Now, let's see what happens, but Atom is looking good. What about Filecoin? Poor old Filecoin, it's just like ADA. It's just in the doldrums at the moment, but a good project. ICP is also significantly underwater. What about Axie Infinity? Go Axie, look at that. What a powerful outcome here. And of course, a consolidation. Axie is a powerhouse, one to be watched. FTX or FTT, we can see it's significantly under. Tron is almost there. It's almost literally at that recovery point. This is really good for you to help compare one alt to another alt. And when you have this knowledge, you can just get your beloved alts and do the same kind of analysis. Everything I do here is to help you to actually see how to look into the charts in a way that most people never look at. Let's have a look at the next date. This is really valuable stuff to do when you can go through and scan the markets to understand the price behavior of all the top moving alts. You'll be so far ahead of anyone. It's just unbelievable. Let's have a look at Ethereum Classic. Ethereum Classic is way under its previous peak at that Bitcoin price. Let's have a look at Phantom. FTM, what do you see with Phantom? It's above. It's got a lot of strength and a lot of power. Phantom looks interesting. What about Theta? Theta is way underwater at the moment. What about H-bar? H-bar is above this previous high. It's doing really well, and we can see that it also probably has a lot of room to go in terms of just getting back and reclaiming that particular high. It's a lot of power in H-bar. What about Tezos? Tezos is above. You can see this consolidation pattern. It's starting to bottom out here. What about Cake? Cake is significantly under. Elrond, EGLD, it's above. It's doing really well. We can see a degree of consolidation here. It's a little bit difficult to just tell exactly what EGLD is doing. I'll just explain why. From one sense, if we draw a tight line of support, we're under that support. If we also draw a line from this peak to this peak, we can see that we're still under resistance. Under resistance, under resistance. That's why I was saying it's a little bit difficult to tell. There's a number of things that you can do to try and layer the probabilities in. We can say, but we did overcome this resistance here. It's just a little bit murky. EGLD is not one I would touch just at the moment. For example, looking at Phantom, Phantom has a much cleaner setup at present, but it always comes down to what your focus is. As a technical trader, I may have a different focus from you. So let's have a look at Monero XMR. XMR is significantly under. And you can also look when these significantly under plays start to consolidate and start to move up in the right direction, they could be very good trades as well. Let's have a look at some community favorites. VRA. VRA is doing really well. What power? We can see a lot of power there, and we can see it's above the previous high. Icon also doing incredibly well, above the previous high. Having a look at NEAR. NEAR is breaking out of its consolidation phase. It's looking, that could be quite interesting as well. There's a lot of interesting charts here. HNT is still below the previous high, but we can see it's on the way up. Decred is still below the previous high. A lot of members of the community reached out and said, Ken, can you do Cartesi? I'm very happy to do any particular coin that you would like. So Cartesi is certainly partying at the moment. It's got a very big spike up, a lot of buying activity here. Good on you CTSI holders. Harmony 1, looking quite nice. Very, very beautiful support. For example, if we look up here, we draw a line from here to here and just extend it forward, just keeping it reasonably touching all the price action that we can see this is really very nicely really well supported price action. Let's have a look at the graph. What is the graph up to? It's a bit spiky at the moment. It's certainly taking off, but it's kind of a bit of a way below. If you have different strategies to play, everybody gets their own style. When it comes to trading and investing, you may like the ones that are significantly under, and you may like the ones with a lot of support. It really comes down to you and what works for you. Anything that works for you, that's your edge. It's literally all about Rule 24. Layer multiple probabilities. The more probabilities that you can get on your side, the safer you will be. Please let me know in the comments below what you think has the most power and what would be interesting for you if you wanted to invest or trade in it. These are the first 8. I'll just go through so you don't have to go back. The next 8 with these ones. You can pause this at any time just to look at it and study it more. The next 8, we do cover a lot, don't we? I think we cover more content than just about any other crypto channel. The next 8 are these ones. And the next 8 are these. So it's all about what do you think is the highest probability. Just pick 2. I know that's kind of hard, but if you can, that's a fantastic thing. We always have wonderful discussions in the comments section on YouTube. Just let me know what you think. I'd love to see and to interact with you on that. It's always important to keep an eye open for the main markets. The S&P 500 up 32%, gold down 7%, and Bitcoin up 432% over the past 12 months. When we look at the fear gauge of the S&P 500, we can see the fear is coming out of the market. The dollar, the DXY, US dollar currency index, is retracing. It'll probably hit support around the 93,604 mark. We can see the NASDAQ. NASDAQ has broken through this once resistance, turned it to support, and is rallying up. It's definitely repairing. Bitcoin, of course, as you know, on a tear. Let's have a look at the bond prices. Bond prices are coming up. Bond prices are coming down and yields are coming up. We've seen a bounce from that $1763.70 mark for gold. Gold is on the way up, and like crude oil, it's on the way up as well. This just gives you a really well-rounded perspective on all the markets. I'd like to thank all the very kind and generous community members who have shown their appreciation by buying me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/cryptotradingks. Thank you so much, everyone. It's very meaningful to me. I'd like to personally thank Vicente. Vicente says he's becoming a better person and growing economically with crypto. Good on you, Vicente. Nizzy said, entering zone 3 and leaving zone 2 feels amazing. You're amazing. Nizzy, well done. Thank you to Peter Stanton, and thank you to the person who shall remain nameless. As my way of showing my appreciation to the Coffee Club members, I will be bringing out a special video for next month. So in about 10 days, I'll be putting a very special video together for you. Recently, Crypto Turtle reached out and said, I'm happy to pay for a class or masterclass on trading. I must admit, I've been contacted over many months by people requesting that I train them, either personally or through coursework. Since yesterday's video, my inbox has been full on Twitter of people reaching out and saying, Ken, please let me know when this training course comes out. I really want to do it. I've also been approached by external training providers requesting me to put coursework together to cover crypto trading and the very specific analysis that I do on charts that is not done anywhere else on YouTube. As a former lecturer in first and second year stats, Putting courses together takes an enormous amount of work, and I'm happy to do that. I will be working with an external training provider to create a masterclass on how to trade. So what I'll be doing is seeking to distill my 35 years in financial markets into a course. And that course will be what I intend to be the best single crypto trading course out there. I realize that trading is a profession. It's just like being a doctor or a lawyer or accountant. It requires a lot of foundations and a lot of fundamentals. As this is done through an external organization, please reach out and let me know if you're interested. I'll make sure that I organize a fantastic discount for you. Please reach out to me and direct message me on Twitter. If you just go into Twitter at StandfieldKen, STANDFIELD Ken, beware of scammers. There are a lot of scammers out there. I joined August 2018. You can just keep your eye on that. I never retweet my own tweets. That's how you can spot these scammers. Scammers are everywhere on Twitter. Just be careful. But if you just want to reach out and direct message me, as many people have done, please feel free. I'll just pop you on a priority list and I'll get you a very special discount. My focus for the trading course, for the masterclass, is to have the absolute best crypto education. We already experience every day, sharing probably about 10 times more than any other crypto channel. The course will be 10 times more than that, if not 100 times more. Rule 968 is really important. Start each day in gratitude. If you're ending your day, of course, end each day in gratitude as well. Gratitude is really important. So many beautiful things happen every day. We can look to the good and we can choose to try to wipe out the bad, at least in our own minds. Having a sense of worthiness is really important in getting into zone 4, as well as making profitable trades. You are worthy and unique. You deserve kindness, love, meaning, and every success in life. I hope you found the content useful. Please consider sharing and liking this video if you think it will help others. Thank you to our moderators for keeping our community safe from scammers. Please say hi and let me know where you're viewing from and if you have any questions. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market, please subscribe to YouTube. I've left helpful links in the description of this video. Please remember, crypto is volatile. Always prepare yourself for the best and worst case scenarios. Reality will likely be between them. Stay safe out there. Take care and see you next time. Bye for now.